you gonna do? Yeah. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? When you were 8 and you had bad traits, you go to school and learn the golden rule. So why are you acting like a bloody fool? If you get hot, then you must get cool. Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys, what you gonna do? Or what you gonna do when they come for you? You chuck it on that one, you chuck it on this one, you chuck it on your mother and you chuck it on your father, you chuck it on your brother and you chuck it on your sister, you chuck it on that one and you chuck it on me. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? Bad boys.
So a snatch of the action from the willing Nissan GT Cup scene in Wellington last week. As we go back to Pukekohe though, as the field gets underway for the Noel Leeming Transam Champs Race 2. Andy McElray just wheels us around on the warm-up. See the Kane Scott car ahead just warming the tyres. Wheeling backwards and forwards in the Shell Mustang. McElray doing likewise in the Auto News Chev Camaro, which holds down second spot on the grid.
The Nissan Mobil 500 Transams are proudly presented by Noel Leeming.
So the awesome Transams are back, ready to roll in the Noel Leeming Championship Race 2 at Pukekohe. And we've got a fight, we hope, on our hands between this man, Andy McElray, in the Chevy Camaro, taking it to the Ford leader on the pole position, Kane Scott, winner of the first race earlier today, and the winner of the first 2 rounds unchallenged at Mansfield a few weeks ago. Let's see what he can do this time. McElray in the black car. Back in the field a little as they take to the Nissan sweeper the first time, and you can see that already Scott getting a little break here from our man that we're travelling with, Andy McElray. Onto the back straight. Now pulling all they can out of that 5-litre engine. But look at Kane Scott disappearing already into the distance. Awesome, this machine, this Shell Ford Mustang built by the Transaction Group in the South Island. Locks the brakes just a little. Hear the squealing of tyres as Andy McElray gets on the rubber. Down into the hairpin. Kane Scott, the man who's had all the development time with this car. They've had this one up and running, this beautiful Shell Mustang, for quite a few weeks now. Won the first 2 races at Mansfield, whereas Andy McElray and the Auto News team run by Mark Petch have only just finished this Chevy Camaro just in time for this meeting. So you could say a bit of an uneven contest right now, but boy, does this promise big things for the future. Once again, Andy just steps off the track there using the grass as he heads down the back straight at Pookie, and that's going to cost him just a little bit more time. Perhaps not everything quite set up the way they're going to want it, and that's only to be expected so soon in this new car's life. So the car was built by Craig Pullman's Pro Action team in Auckland, and then taken by Petch's team, built their own motor and installed that with parts, Mark tells me, suspension bits as well as engine parts from the winning Scott Pruitt car in the North American Trans Am Champs. So this car is an exact clone of the cars running in the States at the moment, as are the cars of Kane Scott out front there, the Mustang GT and some similar Chevy Camaros to this one, run by former Formula Fordster Andy McElray, a champion in that class. He wants to take the title fight to Kane Scott, but look at this at the moment. There's a great gap between them. Kane Scott already disappeared into the distance ahead. Well, you can just pick him up as he dives into the hairpin now. So Andy McElray, wow, nice little bit of oversteer there as he flicks it out of the hairpin. Big fight going on back here. This is between Greg Lancaster and the number 4 IPC Ford Mustang, chased by a bunch of Camaros. Well, one of them's not going so fast anymore. Unfortunately, one looked like it was slowing. Well, now he's back in action again. But in that little space of time, Lancaster has managed to break open a bit of a gap. The one chasing him in the Fleet Tyres Chef Camaro, Alan Ferguson, just pipped him for second place in the earlier race. Looks like Ferguson's taking the fight to the Motor Race New Zealand boss again. And two more of the Chevy Camaros built by Craig Pullman right behind. One driven by Pullman himself, that's the Neutralife car. The other just ahead by Trevor Crowe, a ring-in just for this meeting. There we go, there's the running order. Scott, McElray, Lancaster, Crowe and Ferguson, the last two in Chevy Camaros. So it's Mustang 1 and 3. Teammates, Kane Scott and Greg Lancaster. So 4 laps down for Kane Scott as he hustles and bustles this beautiful Ford Mustang around the S's and onto the back straight here at Pukekohe, where he gives it absolutely full life. Go for it. Big V8 under the bonnet, delivering lots and lots of horsepower and lots of pace. This car got around Pukekohe about 6 seconds quicker than the Super Touring cars can make it. Second place coming through there towards the hairpin now, Andy McElray in the Auto News Chevy. Beautiful sunny day here at Pukekohe, but boy, does that make life difficult for the guys behind the wheel. Take this view as Andy McElray dives under Dunlop Bridge, the sun pouring through the windscreen, making life real difficult. As if Kane Scott hasn't made it tough enough. Down the front straight, there's the view of the grandstands. Flash by there at about 125, 130 miles an hour into the Nissan sweeper. Hard on the brakes. Whoa, in fact, he gets right off the edge of the track on the S's, takes a bit of a shortcut, back on track no problem. So Andy is having a little bit of an eventful day here. This is his debut in this class, and he's really getting a lot of experience out of this one day. Let's take a look at the replay. You can see he just got a little loose there, decided the better course was to straight line it through the grass. Actually still steering it through. They're having to fight a bit of a snap oversteer as he came across the grass and back onto the track. That will have cost him a bit more ground to this guy, the leader of this Noel Leeming Transam Champs Race 2. This is Kane Scott from Hamilton in this beautiful Shell Mustang. Absolutely creaming the opposition here today. Even Andy McElray, who we believe is definitely going to be a big challenger. Could be a few others. There's the order board there from Tate Communications. Scott, McElray, Lancaster quite a way back in third. Then Trevor Crowe. So Ferguson has dropped to 5th place. McElray, you can see the grass still blowing into the cockpit there from his last off-track excursion down at the S's. No problem whatsoever. The car still sounds as sweet as ever. Beautiful machines these. And of course, come the summer, as once again he drives straight into the sun. Come the summer, some big names in Aussie and New Zealand motor racing, as in Peter Brock, Dickie Johnson, Jim Richards will be here to take on the Kiwis in these cars. But this is turning into quite an interesting sort of debut for Andy McElray. He admitted before that he never thought this year he'd be doing any racing. Came to work for Mark Pitcher's Auto News magazine in Auckland and was told that maybe next year he'd get a drive. Well, that's 96 he'd get a drive, but funny how things change, and the drivers that Mark Pitch had lined up for this Transam drive fell through. And who was there on the staff already? Andy McElray, a guy who happens to have won the Formula Ford Champs and has some pretty heavy-duty credentials. So ushered into the driving seat for this beautiful Chevy, McElray takes over and already showing the signs he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Oh, a fight here for 3rd and 4th places, and it's Greg Lancaster in the number 4 car disregard for this fight the big yellow Falcon, because that's a lap down. It's the 85 car of Trevor Crowe that's come to light now. So you can see caught behind him there is the car of Craig Pullman, just making his way past Tim Buxton's Falcon. But Lancaster got his hands full. Just got pipped at the line by Alan Ferguson in the similar Chevy to this number 85 car. In fact, they're pretty difficult to tell apart, let me tell you. We need some paint jobs on those, but you can see they were just finished in time for this meeting. So, whoa! He lets it hang out completely. I think that Trevor Crowe's having a great time here. A man who used to drive a very, very potent V8 Starlet in this class of racing, a car that was later taken over by the late Dr. Roger Freeth. As you can see, Crowe take a look down the inside of Lancaster. No way through there. He's just learning the ropes for this car, was only asked to drive on Friday night, so didn't get a lot of time for mental preparation, but for Trevor, no great problem. A very big talent, formerly in touring cars, formerly in sports sedans, and of course, very much so in rallying and rally sprint. Now Kane Scott, the man from Hamilton, the man who's already 3 races into a winning streak in the Noel Leeming New Zealand Trans Am Champs, heading towards another victory by the looks in the Shell Mustang. Here he takes the checkered flag, about to put some more guys a lap down. He was not quite there, but look at that, an absolute runaway performance. Now Andy McElray over the top of the hill, his turn to go down to the checkered flag. This is his first finish today. Very, very good performance for second place in the Auto News Chef Camaro. So Scott first, tooling around. Here's the fight for third. Lancaster's going to do it. So Trevor Crowe denied a third spot on the podium in the Chef Camaro, the number 85 car. And Lancaster takes it in his Mustang, sister car to the Kane Scott winning car.
The Nissan Mobil 500 Trans Ams are proudly presented by Noel Leeming.
So no doubt about who's boss at the moment in this Noel Leeming Trans Am Champs. Kane Scott takes the win for the second time today. Andy McElray this time gets a finish in second place. Greg Lancaster reclaims the third he missed last time. Trevor Crowe in fourth and Alan Ferguson in fifth place.
Looking in the wrong direction.